Guys, Josh here, Solopreneur Grind, and it is the SG Daily number 81. We're in the middle of October. It's getting frigid here in Canada, but anyways, in a new apartment, so this background probably won't look familiar to you, but hopefully it looks a little smoother if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but you might want to watch on YouTube because I'm pretty proud of my bookshelf. But I digress. Anyways, hope your week is going well. Today I wanted to talk about email lists for a couple reasons. Number one, I think they're underrated. Number two, they're pretty easy and cheap in regards to growing an audience, building trust with your users, customers, potential customers, anything. And number three is because they have certain advantages, even more so now that social media is becoming very, I don't want to say restricted, but certain companies, Facebook owns Instagram, but if you have accounts, accounts on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, you're battling algorithms, right? In a sense, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm posting on YouTube, right? I love YouTube. Podcasts are awesome too, posting on Instagram, et cetera. It's all great. But there's a benefit to email lists in the sense that it's yours no matter what, right? Worst case, if the software that you're using bans your account, you can download your CSV, you can maintain the email list and migrate to a different email user and use them, right? If you build up 100K following on Instagram and they ban you, you're done, right? If you build up a subscriber base in the hundreds of thousands on YouTube and you post the wrong type of video or they don't like you or whatever and they ban you, you're done. With your email list, you're a lot more protected, and I would argue it's one of the very, very personal ways that you can communicate with your audience. Now, video and audio is also super personal, right? When you're hearing my voice, if you are on YouTube, if you're seeing my face, that's very highly personal. And email is another very cheap, easy way to get very personal with people, right? Because people consider their emails pretty personal. So if you don't have one, it may be for one of the following reasons. You don't have a business, so you're like, what's the point? You don't know how to work it. You don't know how to create an email list. You think it's super hard to set it up. Or you think it's hard to manage or hard to manage, right? What am I going to write about? Blah, 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 blah. All these excuses, which are excuses. But whether you have a business or not, there's never been a better time to grow an audience with a group of people, right? So Solopreneur Grind, if you go on the website, there is no page that has services, right? I'm not selling anything. I don't have a product. I don't have a service. Hopefully one day, but that's not my priority right now. Solopreneur Grind is the brand that I'm building, and I hope to continue building it, not because I want to monetize my following or list. For right now, I'm sharing my journey. I'm hopefully providing some value. I'm hopefully helping people avoid mistakes that I make, and maybe helping people have an easier path on their solopreneur journey, because I think there's not enough solopreneurs out there. I think there should be more people who are willing to take the leap from their 9-to-5. So that's the purpose, right? And that's the content that I send in my email list. And I've made $0 off of it, right? But the email list has cost me $0 as well. The only thing it's cost me is time, which is okay. I'm willing to trade that right now. And so for those who don't have one, and in this 3 minutes and 50 seconds have been convinced that they should have one, or you do have one, but maybe you're not using it or you haven't started, here are the absolute basic 4 steps that you can do to get started within 2 hours. Right now, keep in mind, this is very basic. So you can go more extravagant, you can go fancier. But if you just want to get started, and this is basically what I did, here's how to do it. Number one, figure out what the list is for, right? So are you building a personal brand? Do you have a website like Solopreneur Grind? Do you have johnsmith.com? Do you have a company? What does your company sell? What are you looking to build your brand about, right? Figure out kind of based on how you're looking to grow the list and what your list is going to be about, right? You need to know the theme. So for example, Solopreneur Grind, my email list is me sending out content based on the lessons I've learned from being a solopreneur, tips that you can implement, just sharing updates about my company, stuff like that to help other solopreneurs through their journey. Done. Number two, you're going to need an email autoresponder service, right? So a software where you can collect people's emails and then write one email and send it out to everyone on your list. The two that I recommend to get started because they're free and I'm cheap are number one, MailChimp, and number two, MailerLite, MailerLite. I've used them both. I'm still using them both. They're free up to a certain amount of subscribers. So for MailChimp, until you hit 2,000 subscribers, MailerLite, I think, is 1,000. You can use them totally for free. And unless you already have big followings on social, that's probably good enough for a while, right? Unless things go really well, in which case you have a good problem on your hands if you have to start paying for those accounts. So step number one, think of what the list is for. Step number two, get an account. It's totally free. Step number three, you have to build either a landing page or some form of pop-up on your website where you can collect those emails, right? So for me, I have a landing page. If you go to solopreneurgrind.com/join, and I'll put in the link below, it's basically it's a page dedicated to collecting emails. So you're saying, here's what I'm about, here's why you should join the list, here's all the value you're going to get, and enter your email here. And there should be nothing else on the page, right? Everything should be pointing towards them signing up, right? Don't sell your services. Don't send them to links on other pages. This page everything should be centered around, I want to collect their email. You can also create pop-ups and put them on other pages. You know how, so on your home page, you could have a little pop-up that says, if you want to join our email list, click here, whatever. But that's kind of not a whole other story, but it's more than just the very basics. So I'm not going to go into detail on that here. Maybe another video, maybe next week. Okay, so you have your landing page. You got to make sure to hook up your MailerLite or MailChimp account to the page, right? And they make it super easy where you can basically just copy and paste code that they write. And just hearing the word code, I know might frighten people, but I don't know how to code, but I was able to use it, right? I use Squarespace, and it was basically just cut and paste code from MailChimp that they generated, paste it on my website, and boom, there's a little thing that collects an email. So it's easier than you think. If you have to Google, look up, there's tons of guides on it. It's super simple. So now you have everything in order, right? You have your landing page where people can go to and sign up and join your email list. The fourth and last thing for this video is you have to send traffic, right? So if your landing page just sits there and no one visits it, you're not going to get any signups. So there's a million ways to get traffic. They're not all easy, but the most basic way is start basically pushing people to it from your other accounts, right? So if you have Instagram, if you have Facebook, if you're creating other content, putting up blog posts, putting up YouTube videos, at the bottom of every one of those, link to your landing page. So for example, on all of these YouTube videos, if you go back and watch them, it's, hey guys, this is a description of what this video is about. If you like my content and want more, here's a link to sign up for my email list. And that's it. You don't have to be super salesy. Some people are more salesy than others, but basically it's a soft sell saying, if you like my stuff, if you want to hear more from me, here's where you can go get it. And if you're creating a lot of buzz with your blogs and other social accounts and whatever, then X amount of people are going to click that link and join your email list. And slowly with little effort, the steps 1 to 3 I just said, you could do in an hour. And then you have an automated system in place to collect emails. And I'm not going to get into actually writing the emails right now. This is a longer video than usual already. So I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions, join my email list and ask me, or shoot a comment if you're watching on YouTube, and I'm happy to answer it. And I'm going to practice what I preach. And if you like this video, or if you like this podcast and you're listening on audio, if you go in the description of the video or the podcast, you will see a link to sign up to my email list. I highly recommend it. I'm a little biased, but I highly recommend it. And you will get my weekly email. I send it every Friday morning with tips just like this, and you'll be the first one to receive it with any updates and all that good stuff. Anyways, hope that helps, and hope you have a great weekend. I will talk to you next week.